Okay, I think we're live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jenny. I am the Executive Director for Housing and Residence Life. And I have two guests on with me today, not really guests, but familiar faces. We're going to be giving some updates about some upcoming information. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then we will jump into our agenda for the day. So Dr. Gibson, we can start with you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Sheree Gibson. I serve as the Director of Residence Life. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning. This is Ryan Green, Interim Associate Director for Housing Administration and Director for Auxiliary Services.
Great, thank you guys. So today we do have a couple of topics to speak to you about. We want to talk about testing, specifically as it relates to testing before you leave, if you're leaving for winter break or Thanksgiving travel. We're also going to give you a bunch of winter break updates. We have it if you're moving out for the fall semester, if you're staying over winter break, or if you're leaving to go home and then coming back. So we've got you covered with all aspects of that and information as it relates to that. And then we want to talk a little bit about spring move-in and how that impacts you as current residents. We'll also be talking about what spaces we have available as you guys are working on projects or studying for finals and what resources you have. And then we'll talk a little bit about what the fall 2021 housing application looks like. And then we have plenty of time for questions. So you will be able to post your questions in the chat, but we're going to run through this information first and then we'll start to answer those. So just a couple of quick updates about testing. We are strongly encouraging you to test twice this week. And then once again before you leave if you are leaving for Thanksgiving. And this is really just to make sure that you're testing as much as possible and that as you're preparing to go back to see your loved ones, you are being as safe as you possibly can. So you need to make sure that you're distancing, wearing your mask, all of those things. And then testing is just a good precaution to make sure that you're not taking anything home with you. So in order to really support this, we have extended our testing hours leading up to Thanksgiving Day. Our last day of testing will be next Tuesday, the 24th. But we do have a lot of additional testing options over the weekend, specifically in the residential areas. So I'll highlight those in just one second. But if you are doing any kind of travel that requires a certified test result, we do have that available for you as a member of our Georgia Tech community. And so I have the locations and the times there. It is at the library and then 760 Spring Street by the Coda building. And that is from 10 to 3 on weekdays. So make sure that you're checking the mytest.gatech.edu website. The FAQ piece has a link to where all the test sites are and what information you can get. Also, Stamps has that information housed on their website if you need more specific information, but just wanted to make sure that you guys know about that resource. And we also, just to kind of manage your expectations with that, we send those results off to an offsite lab, and so it can take 48 to 72 hours to get those results. So you are going to, if you do need a certified test before a flight, you need to make sure you're planning accordingly with that. This is just a quick overview of the extended testing hours that we have for this next upcoming week. As you can see, it's most of what we typically have in our different areas. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's what we have in our typical areas normally, but then if you look at on 11/21 and 11/22, we have the Couch Building open on West Campus. We have the GT Connector open, and then we also have the North Avenue Centennial Room open, and that's Saturday and Sunday, the 21st and the 22nd, from 12 to 4. So just allowing you guys to get some extra testing in before you leave to travel is always a good thing. And so we have extended those hours into the weekend for you all. Again, this information is available on the website. So if you need to reference it specifically, you can go there. But just wanted to bring your attention to that. Otherwise, we have our regularly scheduled testing this week, where we do our typical rotation, where we'll be at 10th and Home on Friday. We have the Centennial Rooms open at North Avenue on tomorrow and Thursday, and then we have the Connector open this whole week. So, and those are from 9 to 5. So hopefully you guys will take advantage of that and then try and get tested again either Saturday or Sunday from 12 to 4. We do have some winter break information that Dr. Gibson is going to review with you all, so I will turn it over to her.
Thank you so much. So if you are leaving for winter break, there are a few things that we ask that you do to prepare your room for that. You'll see here on the screen there's a list of multiple items, but really we'd like for your room to be clean. So if you have any trash, please remove that from your room and take that out to your dumpster or to your trash room. Also, please throw away any perishable items in your fridge. Lock and close your windows, turn the AC down and your fan on the lowest speed. Remember to turn off your lights, and if you, for whatever reason, are keeping your computer here on campus, make sure that you turn that off as well. We do ask that you also, if you have a bicycle, that you bring that into your room during break and leave it there. Once the academic year starts back up, spring semester, you can take it back to its respective space. Also, it is in our attempt to kind of get ready to leave, we sometimes rush and get really busy and forget to grab those really important things, but we do ask that you take any personal items that you may need, as well as things like medication that may be important for you while you're away. Additionally, if you are staying for winter break, we just want to let you know that Residence Life, well, and also if you're not here, Residence Life and Housing staff will enter rooms. There's some work that we're going to do in those spaces. Potentially, you will be notified about that if that is the case. Also, if you are on campus for the break, you still do need to bring your bicycle into your room, and that would, again, you can take it back out once the semester starts up. We also, if you are in a traditional hall room, so those are spaces where first-year students mainly live, please make sure you're taking any of your personal items out of our common areas. So if you've left things in lounges, kitchen areas, we do ask that you take it out of those spaces for the break. We'll be doing some work in some of those spaces, so we don't want your items to get lost. Please note that we will have RAs on campus, but it will be limited. We will have our full-time staff on campus, but that also will be limited during break. Please make note of what your duty information is, and all of that will be posted on the main doors. So just in case you do have an emergency or you do need to get in contact with a Residence Life staff member, you can do so. And last but certainly not least, please continue to test on a regular basis. We will provide housing for those who need to quarantine and isolate. That will be available, but it's still super important that you do continue testing.
Thank you so much. And speaking about testing over winter break, we do have some information as it relates to what that schedule looks like, which is here. And so just so you all know that we will continue to offer surveillance testing after the Thanksgiving holiday. So that will resume on Monday, the 30th. However, it will look a little bit different. And so again, all this information is available on the website, but just if you want a quick snapshot of what surveillance testing looks like, it will be limited locations and the hours will be somewhat modified. And then I think it's important to note that the testing will not be available the week of the 21st. So December 21st, the Institute will actually be closed for the winter holiday. So we will not be offering testing the 21st through the 25th or the 31st or the 1st of January. So just keep that in mind. But this is what the winter break holiday hours look like as we substantially reduce for the month of December. Again, all that's posted on the website. So Ryan, I believe you're going to talk to us about moving out, if you're moving out this semester.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Cotton. So for individuals who are not going to be living with us in the spring semester, those individuals who are graduating, that they need to be out by December 13th at noon. And then if you were not necessarily graduating, but just not returning for us in the spring semester, if maybe you got an internship or a co-op or something like that, we'd ask that you move out within 24 hours after your last final. That's a pretty standard practice in housing as a deadline to move out for the semester, or by noon on Friday, December the 11th at the latest. So that's currently our plans for, or our deadlines for individuals that are not going to be returning in the spring. Feel free to let us know if for some reason you have an issue with that, but I think it's a pretty standard practice. If you do have questions, you can email information@housing.gottech.edu.
Great, thank you so much. Also over winter break, so we have a couple of projects that we're going to be doing on East and West Campus as we are looking to, again, continue to enhance some of our buildings. A lot of this relates to paint, flooring, furniture, and lobbies, corridors, and stairways. So we will have contractors in and out of the building over break. They will not be going into your individual residential living spaces. So that's not going to be a concern with contractors, but as Dr. Gibson mentioned, we may have housing residence life staff in and out doing inventory projects. So if this is impacting you or your building, you will receive a specific notification from us, as well as an option if you are staying for the break to move to a temporary assignment if this work will be too disruptive. But we just wanted to let you know that we do have some exciting projects happening. If you live in one of these buildings, you can expect things to look a little differently come January, which is really exciting. But we also want to be mindful of the residents that we do have staying with us over break and making sure that they are comfortable and offer minimal disruption with that. So just keep in mind, access could be limited at points as we're doing some of this work. But again, if you're in one of these buildings and this work is going to impact you, that specific notification will come out from our team. So keep an eye on your email for that. Also, we will be switching out our laundry machines over break as we're preparing to offer free laundry for January 2021. So just know there will always be laundry available, but we will be doing switch outs, and we're trying to do that very strategically in a way to really minimize disruption for your laundry services. So further information will be coming out about that as well, but just wanted to put that on your radar as things that you can expect to see changing for 2021. Dr. Gibson, did you want to talk about the area office hours? I know you had discussed limited staffing over break, but we also wanted to remind folks of our change in office hours because of the break.
Sure. So our area offices, which are West Community Housing Office, the North Avenue North Office, GLC 10th and Home Office, and the East Community Housing Office, will have limited hours beginning November 30th, and that will be until classes return in January. And those hours will be 8 to 5. Please note that the GLC office will be open on Saturday and Sunday for limited hours as well, for the purpose of picking up mail and packages. The Institute will be closed, and no housing offices are open during November 26th and 27th, as well as December 21st through the 25th, as well as Friday, January 1st, 2021. So if the Institute's closed, our offices will be closed as well. Thank you. Thank
you so much. And that is where it's going to be really important to know what those duty numbers are when our office is closed, because we will have some team members on call, but you will have to call that number to get in touch with folks. Ryan, we can go back to you to talk about spring move-in.
Thank you, Dr. Cotton. So we have a large number of individuals who are coming in for the spring semester, at least large compared to previous years, so we're excited about that. The move-in date is scheduled for January 13th. 2021, one day before classes officially start. We have had some requests for early move-in, primarily for international students with some travel challenges, maybe some individuals who need to have a stable internet connection for orientation. But for the most part, we're asking individuals to move in starting on the 13th, and you do have the option to move in over the course of that weekend. If you remember, that weekend is the MLK weekend, so it is longer than normal, as we're off on that following Monday. If you do need to move in earlier than January 13th by a day or two, or something like that, you can email us at information@housing.gottech.edu and just request that earlier move-in. There is a form that will ask you to fill out with some sort of justification. There is a $50 per night fee, as those are dates prior to when the contract begins, which is the official move-in date on January the 13th. And so that's sort of what that process looks like, but let us know if you do have questions. If if you've actually gone through the application process for the spring semester, you've probably already completed self-assign, which we're excited about. We had a lot of individuals do that. It goes through today, I believe, was the last day for self-assign. And so the majority of individuals, the way we prioritized that was to have rooms that were completely vacant or apartments that were completely vacant, so that individuals coming in the spring would not inconvenience anybody who currently is an existing resident. We did have a need, because of the number of applications, to work with some existing residents, primarily if they were in an apartment by themselves, that they might end up being assigned a roommate. So we did send out some communication on the potential of being assigned a roommate, and you would have received that information already if that's the case. Of course, we're encouraging you to, if you do get a new roommate for the spring, to reach out to them, discuss best safety practices and getting testing and the way that you can, remain in a safe environment and sort of get on the same page with a lot of those pieces. And then roommate information is available in the My Housing portal if you need to look that up. And as usual, if you have questions about that process, please feel free to email us at information@housing.gottech.edu.
Thank you so much. Just wanted to kind of put this up on the screen. I know this is a lot of information to digest, but we have had some requests to offer a consolidated list of what common spaces are open. And so we are working to compile that information and host it on our website so it's easily accessible to you all. But this is a snapshot of what this looks like specifically for East Campus. So what we're going to be publishing is by building what spaces are available, and then also the occupancy for that space, because we do need to make sure that we're distancing appropriately. And then what the access level is like for that. So is there card access required, which there will be for a lot of our LLC spaces, but for a lot of our building spaces, which are lounges and study rooms, we have unlocked those to make them more easily accessible, or there's no access restrictions to that. And so we will be putting this on the website. Again, so that's easily available for you all, but this is kind of the format of what that looks like. So hopefully this will be helpful to each of you so that you're aware of what we have available. And again, this is just for East Campus, but the other areas will be coming soon. And then as far as fall 2021 housing, Ryan, did you want to speak to that and what that process looks like?
I would love to, thank you. So yes, we're excited to already begin conversations about next year's housing. So for returning students, you can see there on the screen the dates for applications and when they will be open for returning students, when you'll be able to choose roommates, and when the self-assign process will happen. So all those dates you can see on the screen. We'll be putting that information on our website very soon after this semester concludes and we start looking ahead for next academic year. The summer application does open in March. And then applications for fall 2021 housing will open, of course, in the spring, as you can see on those dates when that's going to take place. We do encourage you to sort of consider over the winter break what your thoughts are for housing for next year. We are optimistic that it'll be more like the old times, if you will, for next fall. Of course, we can't obviously commit to that yet, but we're looking at all scenarios and we'll have contingency plans in place to keep everybody safe, no matter what we do have to face. But we are hopeful that we're in a little bit of a better situation next fall. And of course, with that being said, we do expect demand to increase and the number of applications to increase. So once those application windows open up, we do encourage you to consider applying and reserving your space for next fall, because we have a lot going on. We're also, as mentioned, have a number of projects, renovation projects happening and improvement projects over the winter, and we'll have a lot more of those happening over the summer months as well, so that we'll have even better facilities starting in next fall. So we'll continue to make those improvements, and we encourage you to think about what you might want to do for the fall over this winter break.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, so I think that is all the updates that we have. If you have questions, you can post those in the chat and we can get to those. But otherwise, we have posted the link to the winter break website in the chat for easy reference for you all as well. And then this PowerPoint or this presentation will be posted on the website for you all to refer back to as well. But the main links that you need to have in order to really successfully navigate winter break are this winter break website, and then make sure that you're going to mytest.gottech.edu for all the testing site updates, location changes, and modifications as we're moving into winter break. Okay. We'll see if we have any questions coming in. Which it doesn't look like we do. Oh, just kidding, I spoke too soon. Ryan, this looks like a good question for you. What dining options are for students who will be coming to campus before move-in day?
So we have that information on our dining website. It looks like the same dining options we have between the end of Thanksgiving and I forget the exact date, but we have those posted on our website. There are, I can tell you that the actual dining halls will open and meal plans will start on the 13th, so on move-in day. So that's when you'll officially be able to have your meal plan begin and be able to go into the dining halls. We will have limited retail options available prior to that, as well as over the holiday break, we'll have some available. And so, like I said, if you go to dining.gottech.edu, we have those posted and you should be able to see that information there.
Thank you, Ryan. We also have a question about our laundry. It says, you mentioned we are slowly phasing out current laundry units and replacing them with new ones. Are we changing laundry vendors, or are these simply newer units from our current vendor? So we actually are changing vendors, which is why we're getting new machines from the new vendor. And then that new contract is what is allowing us to offer that laundry at no cost. So it's a little bit of both there, but in preparation for offering laundry service at no charge in January, we are going to be switching out those machines. And then we have another question, Ryan, this might be a good one for you to answer. It says, do I have to quarantine if I'm coming from outside the US? If so, how do I arrange a student room to live in during the quarantine period?
Yes, good question. So previously for the fall semester, the one we're currently in, there was CDC requirements and guidelines that individuals who are traveling internationally to the States would need to quarantine for 2 weeks once they get here in a space prior to being open, out in the public. And we did that for the fall semester. However, they have lifted those requirements. I believe it was late September, in which they said that was not a requirement any longer. So they do, of course, encourage individuals traveling internationally to the States to continue monitoring any symptoms and their temperature, obviously wear masks and continue to social distance upon arriving. But there is not a requirement for the spring semester or going forward at this time for international students or anybody to quarantine once they get to campus.
Great, thank you. Let's see. I have another question that says, will de-densification be available for second semester? Like, is it possible for fall semester students to de-densify for the spring semester? Ryan, do you want to answer that one? Or I can.
Well, the short answer is not at this time. But the more detailed answer is that we will look to see how our occupancy is looking, how our layout and our assignments are working for the spring semester once we get individuals moved in, once we see how things are going. We've put ourselves in the fall semester in a place to allow as many individuals as possible to have their own individual room, which we believe is a safer environment. And with the current demand that we have, we were able to do for the most part for our residents. And so that we provided that option in the fall semester. At this time, we don't see a need to provide that option in the spring semester. We will continue to monitor to see if de-densification in a second phase would be opportunistic for our residential community at large. But at this point, we don't feel as though that we would be offering that as a second option for the spring semester.
Great, thank you for that. And I think it's also important to emphasize that we are not moving students into any shared bedroom for spring semester. So if you're a new student who's moving in, you will not share a bedroom. You may have an apartment mate or a suite mate where you're sharing a common living space or a bathroom, but you would not be sharing a bedroom if you're moving in as a new student. So that's part of why we're trying to get ahead of the de-densification for spring semester. Okay, I don't see any new questions coming in, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time and thank you all for joining in. Hopefully you guys found this information helpful and useful, but again, the best resources that you can have as we're going into winter break are going to be that winter break website that we shared at the start of the town hall in the chat, and then also the mytest.gottech.edu. So please make sure that you're testing regularly, please make sure that you're masking, please make sure that you're distancing. And thank you guys for all that you're doing to keep our campus community safe. We really appreciate your time. And if you guys have any questions, we'll be doing this again in December, but you can always reach out to our office in the meantime. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day.